right, welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Good, so, well, probably more reviews coming our way. Yeah. So, this one we have commented in the previous session. There is open questions. Yeah. Good, let's see what else do we have here. Replace unsafe while IT loops. Here we always dereference an end iterator when this function is called. I'm surprised this doesn't crash more often. Huh? While IT. This, I think this doesn't crash. Mob nexus contain. It's a good question, yeah. Why does this not crash? IT++. Huh. Haha. That's a good question. Why? It's certainly in debug it will be a crash. Let me... It would be interesting to know, like, what consequences has in Visual Studio 2022 build. Is this uniquely not crashing in Visual Studio 6? Interesting. Okay, there was also another issue that I wanted to check, right? In regarding the hotkey, right? Let me see. Super hackers, game patch, no, game codes, game codes. Let's go to main branch. Let's turn 0 hour on and these guys off, 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 debug, off. Yeah, let's turn it off, off, release. On, off. Off. Let's also turn this off. Off, off, off. On, off, 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 off. Let's start a command prompt. Good, so. This guy, cd, this one. All right, there we go. Good, so we built this guy. Yeah. Basically, I want to know if the hotkey issue also happens in VS6. I expect not, and then we open a report specifically for VS 2022 builds. Yeah. Good. In the meantime, memory seems to balloon in debug compared to release. Might be the logging or something else not freeing up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would have to check in memory recording. Okay. Okay, so he said we can take a look at this guy. Yeah. Okay, let me see. This. Good. So. Another of these. Interesting. Delete, release. Didn't we already fix this? Let me put this 0 hour. Configure. Generate. Oh, no. Okay, so it will delete. And then. So where's this guy called? Oh, man. Okay. Oof. Oof, so many. Playing. At which location would it fail then? So if it would use playing afterwards, right? And where does this happen? I don't see where this would fail. As long as it always erases this thing afterwards, that should be all good. Allocate. Bean candle. Here it sets it to 0. This is illegal here. This is a bug. You cannot IT++ after erase. Return. Hold on. No, that's fine. Yeah, okay. If it returns, then it's okay. Let me ask him. I looked through all calls to this function and did not see a single offender. Where did it crash? Yeah. Good. Let's check the next one. Subsys. Oh, haha. That's something. Hold on. IT, erase. Why is this assigning here? Why assign IT here? It is not used afterwards. No? Why assign IT here? It is not used afterwards. Fix debug critical runtime errors. Haven't we seen the same thing in the other change? Yeah. This change does quite a lot of different fixes here. What does this say? Fix STL port style of iterator handling to be more compatible with STL lib style iterators. There's a lot going on here. Again here, why assign IT? The same here. If prevent invalid index into container, throwing errors during debug. Oof. There's quite a lot of different things going on. What does this do? Okay, this one we have seen as well. I wonder what's his rationale for picking this here. Real to int seal. Wire point eta is not end. If point eta equals point list end. Prevent dereferencing of endpoints. This point, next point. Why is he assigning pos here and why does this return? This is a strange fix for this. Find pos by pass distance. Pos distance. Next point. This point. Next point. This point. This point. Next point. If this point, if next point. Can this perhaps be rewritten? What is point list? Point list. Is this a list or what is this? STD list? Point. STD list, yeah, okay. Then and this is a strange fix and looks complicated. Well, I mean, it's just one line, but it's complicated in the way that, you know, you have this return here. And why is it assigning the position to this point? Find pos by pass distance. Yeah, I need to think about this a bit more. Let's see the other guys. Oof. Okay, here you just fixed indentation. This should be a size T. Size T. Container size. If child. Well, child is yeah. There's quite a lot of changes here. I wonder if there's an easier fix for this. Like, he adds a condition here, changes this condition, adds another condition here. 4 conditions are being touched. This looks suspicious. It would have been nice to see this in debugger. Oh. If one. I. Bad sleepy index. Okay. Okay, so we access this guy. Yeah. Child. Our children are I times 2 and I times 2 plus 1. Interesting that they wrote it like this then. I think the way to write this here I think the way this was meant to be written is this plus that. Yeah. Yeah, because then you don't need to change this and you don't need to change this. And then here, you probably then also don't need this. Prevent invalid index into container. Yeah, I don't think this would be necessary then as well. Okay, what about if child is bigger than child? Prevent invalid index into container. If child is larger than container size. I don't know if this is necessary here. I would have to see, like, okay, is this child index? Is this an index? How's this used? It is an index. Let me ask. Have you seen this child being larger than the size? Yes. Have you seen this child being larger than the size? If not, then this check should be an assert. Or removed. Or removed. Yeah, let me remove this comment because I think, to me, it looks like everything can be reverted and only make this change so that it doesn't index, because this one in debug will enable iterator debugging, where it will check if it's out of bounds. And so here, I mean, this one here, the red one. So this will be out of bounds access, and then in debug configuration, it will throw assert or something like that. But if it does this here, then that's fine. So it should do this. Yeah. Yeah. Then all other changes can be reverted. All other changes here can be reverted. Yeah, that's my impression of this. Let's see, this one. This one is looking strange to me because this change looks strange. I would have expected that the loop goes from begin to end -1. From begin to end -1. Would it be possible to write a fix would it be possible to make a fix that way? Okay, what about this one here? If contain and not contain, get contained items list empty. Is it accessing it? Yeah. Get staff. Check if it's staffed. This handles neutral containers that hold stealth units. This specifically fixes a bug where hunt scripts would ignore this case. Units would acquire the building, jam and kill occupied, even though it was not stealth detected. What? Okay, so basically the issue would have been that here this one would be empty, and so begin would be an invalid pointer. Yeah, it's probably fine. Yeah, it's probably fine. Okay. Yeah, so I think this needs to be revisited. By the way, there's another point. And wait, let's just make a new comment. It would be better to not put. It would be better to not put multiple things, multiple statements into one line. So this should be written as would be written as like that. CPP. It would be better Let us not put multiple statements into one line. So this would be written as this. Yeah. Okay. Here I would be interested how he came up with this. How do you know this value is correct? How do you know this value is correct? Here, initialize this variable, otherwise it causes unexpected behavior. Perhaps it would be better to write what bug this has fixed in the game. Perhaps it would be better to write what user-facing bug this has fixed. Unexpected behavior. Perhaps it would be better. I think, well, let's say, what user-facing issue did this create? Did this create? Perhaps it would be better to document that instead of writing function names and CPP names. Otherwise it causes unexpected behavior in that state machine. Yeah, I'm not sure how useful this comment is, because yeah, if this is 0, then if this is uninitialized and it's used in ways, then yeah, it causes unexpected behavior. Maybe it would be just better to say, okay, having this uninitialized causes the game to crash when clicking this button, for example, right? Then you know this is a critical fix and it's good to have this set here. If we just say here unexpected behavior with one function name and then a CPP name and then another function name, then it's confusing. The function names may change in the future, then the comment needs to be updated. The file name could be outdated at some point. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have written something else, or not written anything. If it was user facing, then probably good to write something. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. No. Okay, well, these will be my comments so far. Submit. me rewrite this. Have you seen this child being larger than the size? Okay, good effort. Yeah. There's some good fixes in there. Good. Okay, what can we look at next? Right, I was thinking that maybe we give the wdump tool a quick try to see if it starts, and if it does, then we can merge this also. This should be merged when we have a common folder emo. Oh, no use of putting it in 0 hour if we end up moving it. Ooh. Are you sure? I would have merged it right now. I would have merged it right now. That would have the advantage that we would know if the tool works now versus no longer works later. We know the tool works now versus no longer works later. Well, that's a bad description. I would have merged it right now. Okay, hold on. How about we first test it? So what a name. What a name. Manage. wdump. Zero hour extras. Configure. I forgot that we wanted to do something here. Z generals. Build generals MD. Yeah. Let's take this guy. Oops. Generals. English. There we go. Create shortcuts. Minus win. Okay, so we wanted to check if the hotkey works. Game feels laggy a bit. Yeah, hotkey works. Okay, let's open a report. Let me search for hotkey. Okay. New issue. Bug reports. Hotkey does not work in VS 2022 builds. Hotkey does not work in 22 builds, but it does work in VS 6 builds. This bug. One, load into map. Select USA dozer. Press R to build reactor. Try press R to build reactor. Happens with all hotkeys. Issue type bug, label, major bug. Good, great. Okay. Then we can get back to this one. Okay, so Thompson says, don't take it. Don't take it. Yeah. But I say, let's try it first. See if it works. This should be merged when we have a common folder. Okay, let's build. Okay, everything is built. That's great. Then let's see if the wdump tool is in here. Where would it have built it? Here? Here. I don't see it. Did we select the correct branch? Yeah. Why is this not writing an executable file? Does it build a library maybe? Hold on. What is it doing? Add executable. wdump. Huh? We built the tools. Yeah. Why is it not building? Let's see here in the history if it has built the wdump. wdump. It has not. At least not that I see. Let's press it once more. Let's see if there's any trace of wdump in here. Wdump. There's a folder. It's empty. Huh? There's something we are missing here. Something we are missing. Unfortunately, I have no clue why it wouldn't show up. Let's rebuild this. Rebuild solution. Let me see if it shows up here at the top. It doesn't. It looks like it builds the wrong thing. It builds the... Oh, we didn't generate properly. Cancel. We only configured. That's why. That explains it. don't understand why this has to be 2 buttons. Actually, what happens if we just click on generate? Then it doesn't configure, right? Why is there no button configure and generate? Why does it have to be 2 different? It's weird. Yeah. Maybe there's a good reason for it. Probably not. Okay, 49 succeeded. That should end that road now. World builder. Let's see, wdump. There we go. Okay, so this tool should now be in here, and that is, wow, with a beautiful MFC. Aha. Aha. Oops, wrong folder. Projects. Generals files. Let's open some model. Data, art, W3D. Let's open here some nice, beautiful model. CB Chambunk. There we go. Oh, there we go. Cool. Cool. About wdump. From 1997. 1997. That is almost 30 years soon. Thirty years. Man, 30 years. It's a life of a career. These people probably don't work anymore, right? I mean, let's say they were at this time, maybe they were 25, 30, and 35 in this range, right? Likely. Yeah, somewhere 25 to 30, I suspect. Somewhere around this range, right? 25, 35. So now plus 28 years. So these guys are entering retirement age. Yeah. Likely. Yeah. Sure. That's spectacular. Let me take a screenshot of this guy. wdump, let's say, yeah, wdump tool works. I think either way is fine. Merge now and then move. Well, actually, perhaps perhaps it is better to get all tools in before the move to know the dependencies. Before the strip down and move to know the dependencies. Otherwise, if all dependencies are fully known without the tools, then it is fine to merge now or merge later. Moving files in Git is cheap. Takes no space. Perhaps it is better to get all tools in before the strip down and strip down before the strip down and the move, comma. Perhaps it is better to get all tools in before the strip down and the move to know the dependencies. Otherwise, if all dependencies are fully known without the tools, then it's fine to merge now or merge later. Moving files in Git is cheap, takes no space. I would have merged it now. Yeah. If it wasn't for the comment from Thompson's, I would have merged it now. But let's see. Let's see what OmniBlade says. Yeah. Let me edit. Merge with rebase. Merge with rebase. Let me write this here because everyone gets it wrong. When other people start merging, they always get this wrong. They pick the wrong option here. There are two options: squash and merge, rebase and merge. And every time someone merges something on their own, they always pick the wrong thing, and they always put the wrong titles and everything. Yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard to make the right choice. Yeah. To be honest, when I first started with these buttons, I also had no clue what to pick. It takes a few hits before understanding the proper button. Yeah. Okay, let's leave it open for now. Then let's see. What else do we have? Okay, let's take a look at this guy here. Alternatively, opposed to removing, could implement it for 0 hour. Oh. Huh. I do not think there's a problem. Debug levels optional, and we can enable all locked levels by default. Aha, so Okay, now I understand. So Thompson's has repurposed the change. So before he removed debug log level from generals, and now he scrapped that. Instead of, he could have made a new change, a new pull request. No log level. There. Okay, well, I see. I see. Backport debug log from generals. Oh, sorry. Debug log level. Okay, let's get this change and let's have a look at this. So we're looking at Thompson's no log level. Let's rebase it on the latest main. Okay, and then let's take a look at here. Huh. Oh. Okay, so what we are expecting is that 0 hour has the same amount of 38. Oof. Let me see. Dum. 38, 173, 1. Yeah, looks the same. That's good. Okay, so from that perspective, it seems to be all good. Okay, so this one looks fine. Yeah, looks fine. Fine. Oof. So many. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, looks fine to me. Looks fine. Approve. Mm-hmm. Oh, can probably merge this one here then. Okay. Good. Then yeah. Philivia, what should we look at? The whole thing? It is a draft PR. So it will keep changing. Okay. It looks like this change. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. It looks like both of these changes do the same things. Mob nexus contain. Yeah. Open contain, overload contain, transport contain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It contains less fixes here. Open contain, transport contain. So transport contain here contains one more fix in line 497. This one does not. Huh? Transport contain generals MD. This is generals. Here transport contain. That one contains 2 as well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Um, mm, Generally, I would agree with this kind of style here. But I've seen that other places also use this statement within the loop. Plus, putting the statement in the loop is a little bit safer in case items would change, which it probably does not. Yeah, very likely not here. Yeah. It probably does not modify the container in the loops. But yeah, I think the way it's fixed here is fine. Is there no C end? Oh, well, it's also using begin. No, then I guess it's fine. My instinct would have been here to use C begin and C end, but since it's using begin, might as well use end as well then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, both fixes are valid. Why do they write it so weird here? Can put space between loop and var variable like at the other places. Put space between loop and variable like at the other places. While edits, perhaps make the declaration and assignment a single line. Looks a bit unholy. Looks a bit unholy right now. Yeah, so I mean, as long as a container is not modified within the loops, then it's all fine. Maybe we just verify this. Let's look carefully into each. So it must not call a local function. Then we would have to look into the local function. So items, well, and it shouldn't call back sneakily in some ways, but probably does not. Okay, so I'm considering the end. Why IT is not end. Yeah, so this looks fine. There's nothing modifying items in there. Same here. Where's the here? This one. This one. Writer list. Huh? Man, this formatting is wild here. Where does the loop end? Here? Probably. Yeah, it probably ends here. And if writer. Why do they put this comment there? My gosh. Okay, while IT is not, yeah, it doesn't modify writer list, right? No. Should be fine. Items. It's also fine. Yeah, I think this change is perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah. Looks fine in principle. So this is gen ZH. Fix unsafe. Does this actually crash or not? I'm wondering, like, how is this not crashing the game? Like, let's say, hold on. Yeah, how is this not crashing the game? Because let me look at this guy. I'm curious about the dereference. Does it have like an operator bool in there, or what is going on? Hold on. No, it's just a pointer. Aha. Let me go to main branch. Let me enable 0 hour. Configure. Let's delete or remove this one. I would like to run the game and put a breakpoint there and see what happens. I'm really curious. This is This is strange. Okay, let's take reload. Yeah. Like, what was the rationale behind this? Like dereferencing this pointer. I don't understand. Dereferencing. So checks if the pointer is not null. Can this, hold on. Can this contained items list? Can this maybe objects? Get contained items list. Can this contain null items? That would be an interesting question. Let me see. Pushback. Objects. Okay, if object is null, throw. Okay. Do we have any other pushbacks? Erase. Erase. Pushback. Writer. So I don't expect that it contains nulls. So then what would happen is it would go to the end, and then it would expect that the end hopefully contains a null. And that is outrageous that this worked. It's outrageous that this didn't crash. Okay, let me put a breakpoint here and here. Oops. And here. There. Put a breakpoint everywhere. Yeah. Good. Then let's build this guy. I don't understand what Felivier is on about. So he has a draft change. Here, this one. He didn't really explain what he's doing. What is the grand goal? And like, what steps can we do? Like, he's not really communicating what he's doing. Like, there's this change with 1700 files changed, but it doesn't really explain what he's doing, right? So, I think he takes it for granted because he already has it all mapped out in his mind, but he's not really presenting it. So I don't know what to do with this. Like, if it was just one change where he says, I did this and this and this, let's verify it, then easy. But somehow he has expectations how it should be done, but he's not really communicating it with us. Yeah. I do not really I do not follow what I don't know how to interact with this. I understand what Thompson's is doing. He is synchronizing functionality between 0 hour and generals to make them work more closely, like share more functionality between each other. With Filivier's change, I don't know where he's going. He's not really explaining what he's doing. So like, it would be good if he just like focuses on a small task, gets it done, presents it, describes it, and then we review it, and then we sign it off, and then we merge it, and then we go to the next thing. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. So Thompson's approach makes a lot of sense to me. He is actively looking for differences between 0 hour and generals, and he's bringing them closer together. And as he said, that will make it easier to merge the generals in 0 hour into one code, right? And Filivier is somehow doing something completely different. He's already moving things around, and I don't know why he's doing this already. He's not communicating with us. He's just doing it. He's just going ahead and working on it. I don't know what to do with this. I think it would be good that we say, okay, let's first get these things done on the code bases, on generals in 0 hour, and then we say, okay, now no more changes to the codes, just moving and stripping things. That's the way it should be. But he already pushes ahead and already wants to remove and strip things. But if you just try to use generals with 0 ellipse, the compiler will tell you what needs to be done. Let me say, the reviews from Thompson's were pretty helpful so far. Well, let me ask, was there any issue with the Thompson's reviews so far? With the changes from Thompson's? Let me see what Philippe is writing. I don't know. To me, it looks like he wants to push ahead and get the thing done fast. Just remove the stuff, move the stuff around, and just get it to compile. Just get it done quick. Fast. But I'm not sure if that's a right approach. Like, because then you make this huge change where you move all sorts of things, you change all sort of things, and you have this giant change with 1700 files changed. We need more courage doing changes. Okay. With your work, can you guarantee... With your work, can you guarantee that generals and 0 hour will be game state compatible after I mean, I also would like to see things go fast, but then like then we lack testing, and if we have some issue, then it will be harder to find it retroactively, right? Okay, let me think about it. Let me take a look here at this change so far. So he has 12 commits. So in the first commit, he moved this tool together. Okay, same with this one and this one. Adjust gen ww code for 0 hour. What is he doing here? What does he say? Adjust generals ww code for 0 hour. Can we perhaps make a voice call to sync on this? I think that would be the best. Yeah. I do understand what Thompson's is doing. I sort of understand what Felivi is doing, but I do not know how robust the approach from Felivi is. Like, to me, like this stuff here looks a lot riskier than the small changes that Thompson's has done so far. Like, this is a massive change. Like right now it's hard to know like what exactly he did. Like maybe he just copy pasted stuff and maybe it's all orderly, but it's really hard to see exactly what he did, right? It's just like it's a huge change. So maybe he copy pasted it and it was all correctly made, but how do I know, right? This is a massive change. Just this. And there are more of these. Commonize WW Vegas. Okay, this one looks easier because he is just moving stuff. Okay, fair enough. Okay, let me pause this music here. Okay, he's grabbing his headphones. Yeah. Yeah, it's the problem I'm seeing right now. I don't know how to review this kind of change. Like, it's so big. Well, I mean, I can, but Like this will take me a really long time because I don't know what he's doing. He's not explaining what he's doing, right? It's a massive change, and then there will be more of these, right? So yeah, there needs to be some communication. Yeah. It's already down here.
For weeks now, so that was a bit of a pain.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
Evenings is on. How's it going?
Hello.
I was just going over the comments you left me, but yeah, there's a lot of weird things that I came across there, which probably didn't make sense to you on the surface either.
Can we also get the Thompsons in here? Thompsons, can you also come? Yeah, Thompsons and Co, they are notorious for never joining voice calls.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Well, the problem is this chatting, it makes communication hard, right?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
especially if people just use Discord for chatting and not using GitHub to put their brain dumps into, right? And then everyone is just doing things. No one is communicating. What are you actually doing? No one knows, right?
That's fair. But we all know what you're doing all the time. You should record it.
Yes, I try to be as transparent as possible. I try to like describe the changes that I do with issue reports and in the pull requests. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
So, Felipe, so I see you make big effort, which is great. I mean, I think we can agree on the goal, but it looks like we are not in sync about the approach yet, right?
Yeah, I was watching some of your videos, especially the one where you talked about strategy and stuff like that. And I was a bit intimidated that you still want to keep like I'm not sure if we have the same goals. You want to keep compatibility and stuff like that. And I mostly care about the bigger picture, moving to Linux, going cross-platform and stuff like that. It's what my priority is, to be honest.
Yeah, I would rather say it's the opposite. Is the smaller picture. The bigger picture is to roll out a version that onboards the multiplayer community. But that's the bigger picture. The smaller picture is going to features and exploring stuff and experimenting and doing things like this. The bigger picture is rolling out gracefully towards community, onboarding them, bringing them into a new ecosystem with big mods and a pristine game that is well fixed, well polished in all regards. Not just code, but also all data. And this requires careful planning and careful rollout. Right now, the multiplayer community is on Windows. I agree that it would be great to also have it on more platforms like Linux. But yeah, we are now 20 years into General Zero Hour, and there's no hurt in treading carefully and not rushing things. I appreciate that you want to push into like the direction of getting it all to run on Linux. Is fantastic. I'm a bit intimidated by your action right now because it invalidates stuff that has been opened already, right? So it would be great if we could maybe first conclude the stuff that we have like opened right now, and then we reserve a time slot where we just focus on moving and merging the code together, and we don't put anything else in, because then there won't be any conflicts with your work, and we can just focus on that. But we need to align on this. Like right now, it looks like you want to already push ahead and you want to merge, but there's still things that we want to do, like making the game just run fine now, so that we know it works, which is important because so right now we want to make sure that we don't break compatibility with VS6 retail game. And that's important to have like a gracious rollout, because the thing is, players are typically happy with the game, apart from crash bugs, and disconnects and all this kind of stuff. And there are already a lot of things that we will be able to fix for the VS6 builds before we decide, okay, now is a good moment, we want to break compatibility. When that is exactly, I cannot tell you, because that depends on when community is onboarded, right? So if we make some releases and community comes into our ecosystem with a new launcher and everything, then there will be this grace period, and then hopefully one day we can say, okay, now we no longer care, and then we can go full throttle with all features. And yeah, I agree that this is painful because it puts a lot of extra work on us. And I also raised this many times. It's bad for development, but it's good for the established community. So, and I hope that there will be appreciation from the player base in this regard. So how can we do this? So the changes from Thompson's so far, they have been really easy to digest. He makes small changes to bring 0 hour and generals closer together. It's easy to review so far. I've just glimpsed into your change, and there's bigger diff already. So, and it's not clear to me what exactly you have been doing there, because there's also no description on your work. There's just like the title.
That's not true, actually. There's a description in the pull request, but I don't know if it's understandable for everyone. But I explained there what targets I removed, what targets were commonized, and I'm not sure. You know that we have duplicate CMake targets for 0 hour and for generals, and I was just consolidating them and removing targets, and that was pretty straightforward, to be honest. The consequence was that a lot of files have been removed, which is obvious in that pull request, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. Just having files twice is pretty useless. Yeah, and there have been some minor changes to the actual game code, but not much, maybe 30 files.
Yeah, I totally agree with the goal of bringing them together so that we don't have to replicate all the changes to both games, because that's stupid. For the start,
yeah, but that's what we are doing right now.
I know.
Assembly changes and stuff like that. It's just a waste of time.
I know, but it's also it also gives confidence that now we have a base which works, right? A base that we can always go back to. So if we now like combine the code and we make a mistake, and now game state is incompatible suddenly, then that means we made a mistake. We can go back and try to figure out where this comes from, right? If we don't have like a foundation which just works and you can test, then we cannot go back, and then we are kind of blind, right?
But a mistake could also happen in any other pull request. I mean, it's not exclusive to that one. We could always mess something up, so I don't get the logic of that.
Well, let's say you started moving everything before we had a usable Visual Studio 2022 build. Yeah. You start moving everything before that. Then that means you could never test the state before that big move or the parts of the move, right? Because you cannot go back and test, right? And so then you lose the ability to figure out where the error was introduced. And that's why I think it's good to have like a foundation, which we have now. So I think we are at a good point where we can do this move that you want to do. And I very much agree with it. It's just that right now we are not perfectly aligned on what the best timing is. So Maula was still working on some fixes for debug, which are not super critical to have now, but also would be fair to have them. The compiler warning fixes we can probably postpone until after the move, because then we don't need to duplicate the stuff. But yeah, I think like getting the compiler error fixes done, which we had done, and the runtime fixes, the critical ones, I think that's fine. Okay, then how about we focus now more on the move, and everything that is opened now, we then have to replicate after the move. Is that fair?
We can also merge everything else, but I don't want any other pull requests touching the code that will be removed, because
Which
it
one
makes,
is it?
yeah, the ones Thompson's did, for example, you just merged earlier today.
Oh,
They touched the generals WW Vega stuff, and I removed those files, so
right. Okay,
it conflicts.
yeah, okay, but then that's easy to resolve. You just accept your delete and done, right?
Yeah, I resolved it already, but I don't want to do it 10 times a day.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then how about we do the following? We get, so you didn't touch game engine yet, right?
No, only game engine device, and
Okay.
only some files in there.
Okay, that's fair. Then how about we get those runtime fixes in for debug, so that at least debug builds would like run and would be testable.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
Yeah, and then once we are happy with stability, we don't merge the. Should we merge the compiler warning fixes? Maybe maybe at least some of them, because they slow down compilation quite a lot, like the trick.cpp, for example. Like the warning spam makes it super slow. So maybe we should get this one.
Yeah, there's a load of others which could be done, but they're level 3 warnings, and they're all you get the comparison spam a lot of the time between signed and unsigned. You can always get those merged, because at least that gets rid of a big bulk of warnings as well.
Okay, then let's get the safer warnings in as well then. And then once we have the stuff in and we say we are happy, then we agree on not merging anything anymore. And then we just focus on merging and moving and deleting. Okay, is that fair?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's we create we merge all the polishing things that we want, all foundation. We say that we will now merge window. That being said, we will not merge anything except this part here. That we all know. We can work on other things, but we know that we don't merge. And then when we merge things, we unlock the merge window. And just announce that we'll not merge anything else aside from that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so much left. It's just a few things, some compiler warnings and some of the runtime fixes. Maybe Helmut is here, Graham Meth. Do you know when you would have this replay validation thingy? I don't know if you can talk. Maybe not. So I asked Helmut to take a look at the replay validation thing, because I think it would be very valuable to be able to check that when we make a new VS6 build, that we don't change game state at all. And so if we make a new change, we can check, okay, has anything changed on the replay playback? Is it out of sync? If not, it's a very good sign that we have changed no behaviors. Right, so then we can like run through like some big replays with fast forward, just run through for a couple minutes, and then it would give like more confidence that we didn't break anything. I think this would be great, but if we don't have it by, let's say, this weekend or so, then maybe we just skip on that.
Hello, how are you doing? Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, we can.
Hi, yeah, I can probably do it until this weekend.
Oh.
But,
that's nice.
Already said in the chat, you can already check it now. If you merge my existing PR, you can check it manually by loading a replay and checking if there's a message that CRC mismatch happened.
Okay, so you have some functionality already in place, but there's more to polish.
But it's already working, but you have to load the replay manually and look for the message. So it's not exactly something you can put into the automatic checking or something.
Okay, that sounds already very promising. Yeah, I think this would be great to have. So let's get some of the debug runtime fixes, some of the bigger compiler warning fixes to speed up compilation, and then maybe the the replay checker from Helmut. Yeah. And then we say we don't merge anything anymore, and we just do the Felivier progress on merging the stuff and throwing out shit. Felivier, what is your perspective on the changes that Thompson's is doing? Is this not useful, or what is your perspective on this?
I think when I remove all the or when I commonize the libraries, we have to do this anyway, because the compiler will just tell you this function has changed signature or whatever, and I think it's much easier to change by just going straight forward and removing the files, because the changes he's doing right now, they don't remove any complexity. At least that's my opinion.
Okay.
And yeah, we would probably have to change like to do like 20 pull requests, and then in the end we would just have to remove the files he edited anyways. But it's my personal opinion. I don't have a problem with big pull requests. I don't have a problem with big changes. But that's just my opinion.
Okay. I looked at the changes from Thompson, and to me it made sense what he did, because he brings the difference in game engine files closer together, so that there's less difference, and then it's easier to like use the same class, the same file for both games. But if there is a difference between these guys, then yeah, which do you pick? Do you pick 0 hour? Do you pick generals? What do you do? Right. So I think like bringing them closer together is a reasonable thing to do, no?
Yeah, bringing them closer together is a good thing, but when we only have one version, it's the closest it can be. Having two files that are completely similar to each other is just not something I find useful. In my case, it was pretty straightforward to copy the 0 hour version over to generals, look at the diff, which was provided by Git, and then you can just see there are actual changes. There are just changes that have no impact on game logic, and it was not that complex to fix it all at once.
Okay, I see. So you copy it over and see the diff in Git. Okay.
And you can see it in the pull request as well. In most cases, it's just that there are 2 or 3 functions that were added in 0 hour, and when they are not called by generals, it's just not a problem.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
I was going to say, I guess when it comes to some of the differences, I've noticed that, at least for some of the stuff I've looked for at the minute, AI pathfinding is definitely different between both games. There's quite a few significant changes done to 0 hour. So how are we going to resolve those things? Are we considering keeping compatibility with multiplayer for generals, or just 0 hour at that point?
I was only touching WW Vegas for now, and some other common libraries, which are mostly graphics or math or stuff like that. Nothing that's really gameplay relevant. I didn't touch game engine yet. That's a bigger issue, and I think maybe we want to go with Thompson's strategy there.
Oh, it says on. And guys, Sorcerer does bring up a good point, because we still expect EA to release additional source code soon, right? So how are we going to handle such a case?
I'm not so worried about this. We will see the diff between previous version and whatever he did for the workshop and whatever he fixed, and then we can just replicate that.
Yeah, true. Diff shouldn't be like huge. So only some minor things.
Yeah, I don't worry about this. Should be okay.
We could maybe the Git revision could work there. So because we are a fork from there, maybe we reapply the commit with reiterate will not work much of the time, because I don't think they will touch much the base library. In reality, WP, Vega, or the 3D thing. I think it will be addition to things, right? Arctic and Saturn, right? So I think they will just add code, and I think they will not touch the base libraries. But nevertheless, I put the question.
I have troubles understanding your accent.
Sorry about that. Just saying that. Just saying that I think they will add code because of the Steam workshop, but I don't think they will touch much the libraries that Failwheel is working, the base libraries, right?
So I don't
Yeah,
think it'll interfere with what Felv is doing, essentially.
How come?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to repeat what you were saying there. So you think the app difference for any source code that may be released soon won't affect anything that Felv is done or doing?
Yeah, because it's the base libraries of the game. I don't think they will be touching that. If the patch is to add Steam Workshop integration, right? I think that the majority of the work will be there. I can be wrong. I think it won't touch that part.
yeah. Most of the new code will probably be Steam related. I think that's the summary.
Yeah. So Felipe, how about we let the Thompsons cook a bit more and like get some differences out of the way, which I think is helpful, no? And then yeah, then eventually we reach a point where we want to move a bit quicker. But I think it would be useful. Maybe you can already advance faster in your pull request, in your draft, but then out of this we can then cherry pick some of the earlier commits from it and make a smaller pull, and then review this and then merge that already, or something like this. On the other hand, I think it would be nice like to see if your draft like goes to somewhere where it definitely works, because then there is evidence that it's
I was just running a generals game. It worked completely fine. I used the build artifacts from the GitHub Actions. I was able to play. Everything looked fine. I mean, that's no real test, but to have 100% security, we would have to add unit tests, integration tests, and stuff like that. And we can only do visual testing right now.
Yeah, but
there's not much.
But it's also not yet done, right? There's still a lot left to do, right?
It depends. If we want to tackle the game engine and game engine device stuff as well, there's still a lot to do. But at least I removed the libraries folder. So the libraries are common between the games, and it's pretty much vanished right now.
Okay, so you say the current state is already mergeable, you say?
It would be mergeable, but it's not the full goal of deduplicating code. We are not there yet, but
okay, but then,
part of it.
But then how about we take this snapshot that you already have and we review it and we merge it then?
I would be fine by that, but I had the impression not everyone wants that.
No, if we can get a small chunk of it or a bigger chunk of it already done and it's out of the way, I think that would be okay.
I mean, most of the change lines are just the removal. When it doesn't really matter when we delete the libraries, but it will always be around 300,000 lines of code. I think that won't change if we do it earlier or later. The diff will be equally large.
Okay, then I will take a look at your commits to get an overview of like how we could split it, or if you take it all at once, or yeah. I looked at some, like the third commit or so, but there was some more complexity with file changes. The stuff where you just move stuff, that is easy, of course. But yeah, where you merge files, it becomes more difficult. I was also wondering, like, maybe there can be a strategy where we say, okay, all files that are common between both games, where it's like, apart from comments, mismatches, also everything like code-wise is the same. We put these in common, but all the files that are not yet common, we keep in the games in Z generals and Z generals and G generals, and then so the respective games use their custom CPPs to compile with, and then so that way we wouldn't have to move everything in one go, but we could slowly move stuff over when we are sure that now it's ready for being common, right? But both games could still have some code of their own. I don't know if that's feasible.
I think in the long term, we want to stick with the 0-hour code base and just backport the changes or forward port the changes that are in generals, but not in 0-hour, like some ini fields and other behaviors, and maybe where it's hard coded, we will just have to add a compiler define or something like that. I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay, but that's quite a lot, isn't it?
It's not that much gameplay relevant stuff. There's a lot of graphics adjustments, and but I don't think anyone playing generals has a problem with the graphics update. I think that's not what we should care about. It's just that the game should still work.
Okay, you sound not worried, which gives confidence. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm a bit more worried because I really would like to not break anything or introduce some random mismatch with the retail game. Okay. Okay, then let's get the stuff in first that we want to get to a state where we say, okay, now we just focus on the stuff, okay, and then we fully indulge in merging the stuff, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then tomorrow I will study your pull requests and try to understand everything you did there. And
you can just ask if you have any questions.
Yeah, maybe we can have another voice chat and talk over things that maybe I don't understand how you did it. Yeah, or maybe you can, for the stuff that you see is more complicated. So, for example, let me see. I think adjust gen WW code. I think there you started merging some files or putting 0-hour over generals files, something like this, right? Maybe you can maybe you can describe what exactly you did, and if you saw any complications where you had to do something, just so that I have an easier time following what you did.
Right. General 0-hour introduced the concept of a base height map, like an abstract class that can be reused between different height map implementations. Like there's a flat height map in 0-hour, which is rendered when you're zoomed out or the LOD is very low, which is just the lower detail variant of the normal height map. And I had to backport that to generals, but from my testing, it's still all the same. It's just methods moved around from the height map class to the base height map to the base interface, and there was also the tree buffer stuff. I think 0-hour introduced instancing of trees, so they are not rendered one tree per draw call, but instead it uses batch rendering. And I was also backporting that, but it's not actually applied. I was just adding those files so it compiles. But apart from that, it's mostly just changes to the rendering.
Yeah,
So
but some of the optimizations in 0 hour break certain things in that were working in generals. Like I think in 0 hour you cannot even put fire to the trees, for example, right? Because I don't know if that's like related to this optimization or not.
yeah, we would probably have to test that. I don't think I did break anything because as I said, I don't actually use all of that new stuff. I was just adding classes so the compiler's happy. But the changes are not that big, at least in my opinion. When you just look at the W3D device folder. And that's pretty much the only folder where actual changes did happen.
Yeah, it's just like 20 files or so, right?
Yeah, and for example, all the filter methods in texture were moved into a get filter, which was a common change. Like the set U address mode, set V address mode, set MIP level and stuff like that. It's all in the filter class now that was introduced.
I think Thompson's also moved that.
Yeah, I saw that. And just some renaming. The only bigger change is the height map stuff, and at least the bigger stuff I saw. Yeah, but we have to test it anyways. I don't think anyone can tell from that if something is wrong.
Yeah, which is a bit worrying. It would be good to see already from in a review if something's broken, which is possible typically if the review is simple, right? So you mentioned that you moved some stuff, but it's not you. So like you moved like the hype map stuff, for example. You moved this from 0 hour to generals, but it's not used in generals. Is that correct?
No, the height map stuff is actually used.
Okay. But
the tree draw module, for example,
okay.
there was a new module introduced, W3D tree draw, but
you mean it's not used in the ini files? You mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
it's just
okay. I see.
it exists, but it won't be
okay.
instanced.
That's perfectly fair. I would just be worried if you say, okay, we move some 0 hour stuff, and now general's code wouldn't use it, and then so 0 hour code would lose it as well, right? Inherently.
No, all the stuff in WW Vegas is a one-to-one copy from 0 hour. So 0 hour is definitely not wrong. I can guarantee that with 100% confidence. But general's code, needs review.
Okay, good. Then I have better understanding. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe whenever you hit something that is a bit more complicated, you can take some notes there in your pull request, add information. Then it's easier to follow.
I can add some notes to the files maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Then let's get to a point where we focus on this entirely. In the meantime, maybe you can look at some more things that are not game engine if there is anything left. What is your position on us merging the wdump and the W3D view into 0 hour?
Yeah, I think the tools should only be merged into the 0 hour tree for now, and then it will work fine. And later we can maybe move it to the common tools. I did put some tools there already, but I think before we can complete that, we need to also deduplicate the game engine and the game engine device, because it will probably depend on code from there. Maybe I don't know wdump maybe only uses Vegas.
Yeah, it
I
uses
did.
some libraries. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that can already go into the common code. I have to check, but I can also move it later. If you merge it now, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's only going into 0 hour. I think the guy also started working on the W3D, but he didn't put an update. I think we can wait a bit more, unless otherwise I can also do that. Shouldn't be a problem. No. Okay, good. Then sounds like we have a plan, or do we have some more questions? Silence. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think it's fine from me.
Okay, cool. Then I'm also looking forward to whatever Helmut is cooking up there. Yeah. Good. Then, by the way, I was recording for, as I always do, for YouTube. Is it fine if our conversation is in the YouTube video?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay. Good. Well, then let's have a chat in the future again when we talk about implementation details for what Felivier is doing. And yeah, sounds good to me. And
Yeah, also feel free to check the artifacts. You can probably test as well. I'll do some more testing. If you find any bugs, just message me.
yeah, I will compile it locally. Yeah. Good. Well, then I wish you a great night. And
Thanks, you too.
thank you for the call. Bye bye. All right, good. Then yeah, I will also take a break here. It has been 2 hours 30. Good. We got some clarity. I still think that the changes from Felivier are quite large, but I mean, we can probably break it down, like cherry pick some of the bottom changes in the commits list, and then just like have a smaller pull request and then commit that. So right now it has 11 or 12 commits, right? Which is not a big number, but yeah, like for example, we could first make a pull request with just these 3, right? And then merge that, and then, you know, work these off and, you know, finalize them. Yeah. Okay. Actually, it's the other way around. This one's first. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and maybe Thompson's is also figuring out a few more fixes along the way. Good. Yeah, then the focus for the next days is, we said in the meeting, get a few more fixes in, and then we focus on this stuff here. Good. Then I will take a break here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.